YouTube, what's good? Shwin Rummy. It's a new year, 2019, and I know a lot of people talk about new stuff they want to do and new goals they set for themselves. And with this being a new year, let me get away this light. With this being a new year and all, I kind of thought, I told you all before in one of my reaction videos that I started cutting my hair in the beginning of 2015. And I feel, confident. I'm not like super sweet or anything like that, but I feel confident enough to where I can cut it and be decent, like feel decent about the cut. Because, like I said, I'm trying to save money, time, and I figure, the more I do it and the more I practice, the better I can get. And then, I can just, cut myself, which is great. So, just a little while ago, maybe, I'd say 15 minutes ago, I tried for the very first time. I've never cut anyone else's hair but my own. And I attempted to cut my son's hair. Now, my wife, I had expressed to my wife that a couple of days ago, I said, I think I would like to, try to cut, our son's hair. And she was like, well, that's funny because I was, going to ask you, how would you feel about doing it? So, me, I'm thinking, great, we on the same page. And like I said, save time and money and just get them cleaned up. And, just be decent enough of a cut to say, well, okay, you doing this on our own, we saving money. The cut's not atrocious to where you feel like, let me go out and spend money or have an atrocious haircut. So, I watched a video. I did a reaction to a barber online. Well, he has a social media presence online. His name is 360 Jeezy, and I did a reaction to one of his more current videos, a tutorial he did with his little boy. It was a comb over haircut. And, of course, the cut came out clean, crispy. And, it's funny how when you see other people do things and it just looks like, okay, they're giving each step, you think, okay, as long as I follow the steps, I should be good. My results should come out like their results. And then in the midst of you doing that, it's like, wait a minute, they said do this, and do that. Why is my stuff not coming out like theirs? Am I overdoing something? Am I not doing enough of something? Did I skip a step? Did I add a step that they didn't say to do? Like, all these things start running through your head. So I said a little prayer, and then I attempted to cut my son's hair. Now my son's hair, he's mixed. I'm black. My wife, she's Hispanic. So, the way his hair came out, his hair is not like mine. It's just kind of, I'm used to getting shortcuts. And, really all different types of race can get, the type of cuts that you would literally see kind of more black guys with. But, his hair it can get long and it can get very like curly. But it's kind of like, I don't know if you want to say like a straight curly, if that makes difference. Like, when I think of my hair getting curly, I think of like curly, not happy curly. But his hair is like, curls. And, basically his hair tends to be like short around the back and the sides, and then up top, it's, kind of crazy, but it works. We kind of leave that part kind of like curly up top because that's what his mom really likes. So I looked at this comb over tutorial again just to kind of get myself familiar with it and just kind of get myself psyched up to do it. So I looked at the video, and like I said a little prayer, and then I went in the bathroom with him, and I attempted to cut his hair, and I was nervous in the beginning, and because this is my first time doing it, and I'm not trying to mess up my son, so I start off just cutting them, and it was straight. It started off okay enough, and he's been to the barbershop a few times, probably, I don't know, 5, 6 times now, maybe 7. So, he's not afraid of having clippers on his head and, having to sit still. He's actually really good. So I wasn't even so much worried about, him trying to keep him still and not be all frantic, but more so me not mess him up, especially because this is my first time, and I'm going into it saying, okay, it's not going to be the best, but just take your time and pay attention to what you're doing, and just understand you'll make mistakes, but notice what they are, learn and grow. So I'm keeping all this in my head so I don't psych myself out from not doing this, because I really want to get to a point where I'm just like cool with the clippers, to where I just say I'm not trying to be like out here a licensed professional barber, but just someone to say I can cut my own hair, I can cut maybe some family members' hair, just kind of like on that tip. So I'm cutting his hair, and there's a method that I've seen 360 Jeezy and apparently other barbers use, where they'll take a comb, and the comb will act as a guard. The hair goes through the teeth of the comb, and then you kind of run the clippers over the comb and knock off those hairs that are sticking out through the teeth. So I got all this. I got all that, the back, the sides, and the back, and then I'm working on tapering. When I taper my own hair, it's like, honestly, I feel like it's more a hit or miss. Sometimes when I taper, I'm like, okay, I did a pretty decent job, and then other times I'm just like, oh, that blend is just not there. And like I said, when I see other people do it, like 360, I'm just like, man, I feel like I'm following what you're saying, but it's still not coming out. And I know that's all a part of just experience and just, not giving up and staying, I got to practice on it. And, eventually in time, it'll come. But, I was cutting his hair. Like I said, I did the backs and the sides and the tape and everything like that. I was cutting his hair. And I'm doing this method because, his mom was saying, like, yeah, you can do the backs and the sides, keep it short. But up here, I want you to use scissors. Don't run the clippers through it. So, I've never cut anybody else's hair but my own. Now, let alone trying to figure out how to work this hair up top. So I'm just like, I felt apprehensive about, trying to get the hair, and how you pinch it and have it sticking up over your fingers and you cut through it. I felt just nervous about it. So I figured, well, I seen in this comb over tutorial, he kind of shaped the hair of the little kid he was cutting, and he had the comb and was running the clippers over the comb. So I said, well, let me try that. And it started off decent enough, and my son, he's it was around close to nap time, so the way he was kind of like, sometimes he'll have his head go down, and I'm nervous, so I'm saying, you can't move, man. Like, and I'm trying to do this method. First time I've ever done it, and I said, well, let me try. So I'm doing it, and then all of a sudden, in the back of his head, I figured, I have the comb in the hair. I don't know what happened. I don't know what I did. But some way, somehow, I basically like cut a gash in the back of his head. Now, when I say gash, I don't mean like I bruised or scarred him, but I took a chunk out. Like, it surprised me, because I'm thinking, like, I got the comb, and I'm running the clippers over the comb, and I don't know if the clippers tilted, if I had too much pressure on the clippers, and I made the clippers tilt in, or however I did, but somehow, some way, it touched his hair, and it wasn't bald. It's not bald like a bald gash, but it's way shorter. It's noticeably shorter than the rest of his hair back there. And then just like, oh my goodness, like, and I still proceeded to try this method with the comb, with the clippers over the comb. And so then on the left side of his head, I didn't make a gash like the first time, but then all of a sudden it was like a line, and I'm just like, what in the world is going on? Like, what am I doing? So I kind of stopped for a minute, and I just kind of gathered myself, like, this thing is going to be here. And his mom is at work right now, and I haven't even told her or texted her like, hey, I tried it out or anything like that. Like, I don't even want to, because she'll probably be at work thinking about it the whole time. And if I send her a picture, I just want her to just get through her work shift, and then, she could come and deal with looking at it afterwards. But he has a gash back here, and on the left side there's like a line right here he has kind of under his hair. And I don't want to be discouraged, because I sincerely want to be good at cutting hair. And I told myself, okay, you're gonna make mistakes, just learn from it. Be careful next time. Make sure you pay attention, and everyone makes mistakes. And part of me is like, yeah, don't give up. And then the other part of me is like, like if I were to just do like just get just all around even on the backs and the sides, that would have been straight. That would have been cool. Me working on a taper, I feel cool with just, doing it. I'm just, it's all about that blend. It's all about that blend. And I feel like if I can get that blend down, then that's just a nice little extra, garnish to the haircut, if you will. Just to say, man, like, you cut his hair? Oh, that's what's up. So, I don't want to give up on doing the taper. Like I said, doing the all around even. That's just throw the guard on and have it at the length you want, and there you go. But doing the taper, I don't want to give up on doing the taper. But that comb and the clippers over the comb, I mean, I don't know. Like, maybe for now that's a little bit too advanced for me. Especially this is my very, very first time cutting anybody else's hair, and it's my son. Like, thank God he's young enough to where, he doesn't really know what's going on. He's looking at himself in the mirror and he's laughing and just, being his normal self. But I'm just thinking, like, pretty soon he's going to be more self-aware of if something is off or if something is not to his liking. And, he's starting to already get there. He likes to wear certain things and hats. gloves, and he likes certain things. But like as of right now, if like what I just described, he's really not taking notice to that. But yeah, maybe once I let my wife know what happened and she sees it, I come back and share with you guys how she reacted. I'm a little nervous. You know what I mean? But she's a very understanding person, but at the same time, it can be hard for her to hide, her feelings. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, you guys stay tuned and pray for me. Swim Rummy signing out.